Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to Soundout's Pickups. Today we're taking a look at what I picked up between February 17th, 2019 and February 23rd of 2019. This week was kind of interesting because I didn't have a whole lot until yesterday, Friday, and Saturday. So, this picked up pretty good. First things first, I went to go see Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative on Tuesday, the 19th, which was a wonderful movie, thoughts, and review forthcoming, as I will be talking about this film on Ninja Talks Gundam Live tomorrow night, which is Monday, February 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern. If not live, it will be archived. I'll link the channel down below. Be sure to go check that out. I have a lot of thoughts about narrative, and I'm going to talk about those on tomorrow's show, which really is exciting. Now, Gundam Narrative did have this poster that was given out. It's really big, which surprised me, but then again, it is a giant ad for Gunpla. And while a lot of people are like, oh, I wish it was a poster for the movie, I'm like, yeah, but I like Gunpla. I like Gunpla a lot. Like, I want that one, but as a real grade instead of a high grade, and I have that one. And I want this one. I don't know why, I just do, and I kind of want this one, but I kind of like this one better. Yeah. On the back side, though, has an advertisement for the new Gundam Universe line of action figures, which is a 6-inch size figure series, mostly made for the international market, not gonna lie. I think Unicorn, Wing, and RX-78 make it very international friendly. These are gonna be like $25 in June or July. We will see how I go about picking these up. I do at least want one, probably the Unicorn. But I definitely want to see how this line turns out, because this is kind of like our new version of Mobile Suit in Action, which I do really like. But there are Soul Chigoku Voltrons in my future this summer and fall, so I really need to save money where I can. But we'll see about Gundam Universe. But yeah, that was the poster I got from seeing the movie, which was cool. Alright, so moving along to Wednesday, the 20th. I got my first order from Hasbro Pulse in the mail. Now, Hasbro Pulse is Hasbro's new direct sales web store, which was launched right around Toy Fair last week. So I ordered the Transformers Studio Series Dark of the Moon Sideswipe. Now, Sideswipe's my favorite movie Autobot by far. I own pretty much every toy of his that has been released, which I know is a little nuts, but do like me some Sideswipe. This is absolutely the best of them all, by far. The articulation is just incredible. The way that they, the swords are not like on an automech gimmick like the Revenge of the Fallen one. They're actually just a separate piece. You can remove it any time. You can swap in his guns. The car mode is the top-down version of him. He's got stability with the feet. I really can't complain about anything here. There's nothing to complain about. It's basically the perfect movie Sideswipe. And I really do love them. The transformation's ingenious. These become the sides of the car, which is great. The guns even have a space to go. I really do like that. Now, I don't usually buy a lot of Studio Series just because I was a little burned out. I bought a lot of movie toys over the years. And there's other stuff to get, like, even Generations Transformers. So getting this guy is kind of like, I guess it's my finale, because I have to pretty much drop the line. I was going to get like a couple others, like the Dark of the Moon Megatron and a couple other Studio Series, but unless there's going to be a Soundwave, I'm pretty much out of the movie Transformers game for now, just because, again, Soul Chigoku Voltrons pull a lot of money, so I'm really trying to get both the Go Line reissue and the Die Rugger that is coming out this year, because I like Vehicle Voltron a lot, and I've been waiting for a new one. So because of that, Transformers kind of get sacrificed, but I made this order to get to the free shipping promo, and I do not regret it. This is absolutely fantastic. He's a little small for being a $20 Transformer, but he makes up for it in engineering, scale, accuracy, and paint job, because he is that shiny silver. So yeah, that was like, that was pretty much what I was going to talk about this week, was Gundam Narrative and a little bit of Sideswipe, until I went to the comic store. So as we know, last week I had stuff at the comic store to pick up from a couple months from before my Hawaii trip and other things. So I had picked stuff up last week, which was the majority of the video. This time, it's a little bit more diverse. Now we got the Sideswipe standing over there. Okay, So let's start with the weekly comics, which was my pull list for the week, which actually was surprisingly small. First up, we have Justice League 18. You know, every other week is a Justice League issue, so yeah, pretty cool looking cover. Thank God this is over. Return of Wolverine number 5. This series has been kind of bad. I really wanted to like this one, but I'm ready to read these last 2 issues and be done with it. Done. And then Uncanny X-Men number 12 with good old Wolverine and Cyclops doing stuff. Still haven't read 8 through 11. I'm a little behind still in my reading. I did read Justice League here. This was a really good issue. I still need to read these. But that was basically my pull list, so it was very small, which was nice because that means that I didn't have too much to pick up. But state tax refunds came in, so we got a few other things. I picked up Web Warriors of the Spider-Verse Volume 2. I've been meaning to buy this for probably over a year because I feel like this comic's been out forever. I have had Volume 1 since Volume 1. I had Volume 1 since before they released Volume 2. It was a really cool series they did after Spider-Verse where it's like, hey, let's just get a team of alternate universe Spider-Men together. I feel like it kind of inspired into the Spider-Verse a little bit, but I always wanted to read Volume 2 as the second half of the series, and I finally can. This was half off, so that worked out too. Pretty happy about that. Also, in the 2 for $5 bin, found Superman Strange Attractors by Gail Simone and John Byrne. Absolutely awesome team up there because those are 2 of my favorite people in comics working together on a Superman comic with electricity people like Dr. Psycho and Livewire and some woman with a giant cape and Black Adam. And I just picked this up because it was Gail Simone and John Byrne writing Superman. Writing and drawing Superman. That's a win for me. And then we have the Culling Rise of the Ravagers. This was a crossover event in the New 52 that was pretty terrible, not gonna lie. It featured the current Teen Titans of the time teaming up with the Legion Lost, which, if you know me as a comics fan, which we'll have to do a tour of the comic show at some point, I'm a big Legion of Superheroes guy. I really love the Legion. It's my favorite superhero team of all time. And I'm trying to collect all of their published history. This is just helping me because I have Legion Lost in trade paperback. I also have it in single issue. I have it in the trade paperback. I collected this crossover as it was coming out because I was reading Legion Lost at the time. This also set up the Ravagers. It also featured Superboy. It was kind of bad. And by kind of bad, I mean it's really bad. And I feel bad for buying it, but I was normally I would have spent $5 on the Superman book, so this was kind of free. And it kind of recompiles things, and I can, because I have some of the prologue stuff with Superboy, and I could sell off these issues somewhere because I just need the ones that have Legion in them for that collection. My Legion obsession, I guess you could say, is getting a little crazy. But since this was essentially free because of the way the pricing worked out, or $2.50, it's not too bad because it kind of completes the Legion Lost trade collection. Since the issues from Legion Lost, that was the crossover part, did not make it into the Legion Lost trades. So, another one done. I still need to find a Legion of Superheroes New 52 Volume 1, because for some reason, I have not been able to find a copy of that, despite that being a recent series. But, yeah. So we'll see what happens. You never know what turns up in the discount bin. And lastly, we have something I forgot I put on hold, which is JLA Heaven's Ladder. This is by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch. Brian Hitch being the artist on Hawkman. Mark Waid, who's done a lot of Fantastic Four as well. Really, really interesting. This is an oversized book. These used to happen a lot more than they do nowadays. I don't know one that's happened recently. It's got your 90s Justice League lineup. It's the JLA, which I think Grant Morrison started this run, and then Mark Waid took over at some point. I don't exactly remember. My JLA history is a little vague. That's because of Legion. But I always like getting comics that are these massive sizes, and this was really cool. And it was on discount for $7.50. So I was like, I want to get it because it looks really fun and cool, and I don't have anything this big, and I'm not even entirely sure it's going to fit on my shelves. But yeah, so that's very much data for the comics. Definitely not as last week, but still cool stuff. All right, moving along. Let's go with the easy one first. We have the Pop Animation Destro. Now, this is the fall convention exclusive for 2017. So I think it was New York Comic Con, I believe. This is a shiny-headed Destro Pop from G.I. Joe. Now, I am a G.I. Joe fan. I'm not as hardcore about G.I. Joes per se, like Transformers, Marvel, DC, etc., etc. But I do like G.I. Joe. I've kind of rediscovered it more recently, just by happenstance. I didn't have any of the G.I. Joe pops, but I came across this Destro, and I was like, I like Destro a lot. So it's really cool. I'm really happy. I don't think any of these others are like still available because they're so low numbered in the animation line. They're probably stupid expensive, but you never know what I come across. I collect pops casually. This was just kind of more of it's a really shiny Destro, and I do have a lot of pops, so this kind of goes with that. But Destro. That's cool. Talking about, let's see, we'll talk about the new stuff before we talk about my Holy Grail find. First up, we have the Kingdom Hearts Series 3. 2 packs of, if I can remember how this was broken down, I think it was Sora and Sark, and then Tron and Goofy. Okay, so Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe, featured the Tron world. Now, for those that don't know, I'm a big fan of Tron. It's one of my favorite classic Disney films. It is definitely one of those movies that I watched as a kid, appreciate more as an adult. I loved Tron Legacy. I really was kind of hoping we'd get another Tron movie. I really like Tron Uprising, the TV show as well. And I played some of the video games like Tron 2.0. I'm really a fan of Tron, but there's not that much product out there. This was something that Diamond Select kind of surprised everybody with, because when they were making Kingdom Hearts figures, it was like, oh, Sora, Goofy, Donald, etc., etc. Then they were like, oh, hey, here's Tron and Sark. And they look like their movie counterparts because we're basing them on Kingdom Hearts, which is an accurate representation of their movies. And then now they're doing like Hercules and a few others. So the Kingdom Hearts license is really valuable to companies that want to make other stuff. So this is why I picked it up. I have not played Kingdom Hearts. I have to fully disclose that. I've not played the Kingdom Hearts games. I want to. Now that 3 is out, now that the story so far is existing and everything's kind of more streamlined, I can just play through it. When I clear through some video game backlog, when I get some money, I want to play Kingdom Hearts. I really do. I've read some of the Kingdom Hearts manga in the past, though, so I'm not completely unfamiliar with Kingdom Hearts. But I definitely picked these packs up for Tron. That's why I didn't pick up the Mickey with the Heartless, because you need the Heartless and I don't need Mickey. I wanted to get Tron and Sark, and the fact they came with Sora and Goofy was just happenstance. I really thought it was weird, though, that the third pack in Series 3 wasn't the Tron version of Donald with maybe something else, because I would have totally bought that because of the Tron design to kind of finish the main 3 here. But yeah, it was kind of strange. Maybe it should have been like Tron, Donald, and I don't know what else to put in because I don't know Kingdom Hearts well enough. But let's focus on Tron. So Tron here, he is really well made. First things first, the identity discs are on the back of both Tron and Sark. They don't come off. That really annoys me, but whatever. There's so few Tron figures out there, it doesn't really help to complain at this point. Articulation wise, there's some good stuff. I think the elbows are the worst joint because they only go so far, but he does get a full double jointed knee, which is nice, and full ankle tilts. He's got ankle tilts that work better than Mattel figures. I've noticed Diamond Select's kind of stepping it up in articulation lately, and I think maybe if these were sold on their own, they might have had some more accessories and maybe a few more joints, but I know the Tron designs are kind of hard to work with, so you do the best you can. But I do like it. Some nice paintwork. I think there's a little bit of slop on the back. It didn't fully get printed back there. But, overall pretty good figure. Like I said, he came with Goofy, I believe, because I remember they split it up so you can just get Sora and Tron. Here's Goofy. Goofy, I think, looks really good. Again, would have liked to see a Donald like this. They did it for Funko Pop. He doesn't have any accessories either, but his articulation is kind of weird because he's got like this joint that turns here, but there's no elbow because of the thinness. His waist joint doesn't really work, but his big old legs move, and he's got nice ankle joints. So pretty cool. I do like how the Kingdom Hearts figures are like multi-packs, essentially. We'll move on to Sark here, lead bad guy. Maybe they could have... I don't think Kevin Flynn was in Kingdom Hearts, I know that much, but it almost would have been perfect if they did Tron Donald with Kevin Flynn, just to kind of get a third figure. I think, if I remember correctly, he did not appear in that arc because it didn't take place during the movie. It's like a prequel or sequel or something. But anyways, here's Sark. Sark looks cool. He's got the same articulation as Tron, no disc as usual. But really cool. He's got a little bit of bow-leggedness to him, which I'm not sure if that's just mine or in general, or maybe the actor has bow legs and I'm just not paying attention. I don't know. Was David Warner bow-legged? Point is, Sark is cool. Really, really cool. Yuri could have been an option, I think. I think Yuri was in the game. Maybe Yuri and Donald. I was thinking about, like, it's weird just to have Sora and Goofy. Here's Sora. He's the only one that has an accessory, which is the Keyblade for the Tron world. He's really articulated. I know they're like making a ton of Sora variants for all the different forms, but he's actually got some really good joints. They're a little thin, which kind of worries me. I'm not going to be messing around with this guy too much. He's got a knee joint, but it doesn't really work. It's kind of, because of the pants design, it kind of blocks it. But overall, he's pretty cool. I mean, for Sora and Goofy being figures I wasn't planning on buying, or really weren't the reason why I was buying them, they're still pretty good figures. Like, they're gonna I'd probably hang out with my Tron display just because they have the Tron look to them. But Tron and Sark are definitely winners. If you're a fan of the movie, this is probably the best you're gonna get figure-wise for a very long time, if ever. So I highly recommend picking these guys up. These were $25 for each 2-pack, which isn't too bad considering you are getting 2 figures that are fairly well articulated. This also gives me a lot of confidence in the upcoming Castlevania figures that Diamond Select's doing based on the Netflix series, because I love that series, and seeing figures of those is just amazing. And the build quality on these is kind of giving me hope that, you know, the Castlevania figures will be the same way. The absolute best find of the day, though, goes to Masters of the Universe Classics Hordak. Now, for those that don't know, I am a Masters of the Universe fan. I think I mentioned it last week with the Mega Blocks. I'm hardcore enough to own Castle Grayskull, casual enough to not want everything. It's like a little sweet spot. I kind of just pick up what I want here and there. Hordak was absolutely on the top of my want list, fairly for the longest time, I think. But fairly recently, I decided, you know what, I'm actually going to try to get a Hordak, because I realized I was only missing like a couple of the Princesses of Power. Like, I've got 2 on order from a Big Bad Toy Store restock, and then 2 more. So I only need 4 more princesses to finish the Princesses of Power from She-Ra. I'm also getting Queen Angela and Bo, which kind of goes with everything I have, because the time I had the subscription, they were making a lot of Horde and they're making a lot of princesses. So I'm kind of building up the She-Ra cast. And generally speaking, I do like She-Ra more than He-Man. As a series, I thought the original She-Ra cartoon was much stronger than He-Man. And its whole premise of, you know, there's the Great Rebellion fighting the Horde Empire that's already taken over Etheria. That's really a lot more powerful than, you know, shirtless man fights skeleton every week. I really do like She-Ra's premise and characters and lore. And I do really like Hordak. He's a really cool villain. Because he is so cool, and because he's crossed over into He-Man stuff, especially like the DC comics, which the DC Masters of the Universe comics kind of like sparked just He-Man stuff for me. Like, I dive deep into He-Man and She-Ra after those comics, and I absolutely love those. And this is definitely the look they used for those comics. So this is the Hordak I wanted. I was so close to settling and buying a Buzzsaw Hordak on eBay, but instead I got the DC Multiverse Vixen, because I need to get her. So I got her, and so I passed on the Buzzsaw Hordak. I saw he was going to be about $35. So surprise. I was very surprised to walk into my comic shop, look in the glass case, see the only Masters of the Universe Classics figure in the store be the original Hordak release for $40. I was definitely okay paying $40 for him, because he goes for about $80 at least, $80 minimum online on eBay. And this, I mean, he was loose, he wasn't in package, but I don't care. I finally got the Hordak, and it's the Hordak I wanted. I was gonna start off with the Buzzsaw one. I didn't really want any of the Filmation ones, so I passed on the Super 7 Filmation one when it came around. But I wanted this Hordak, and I finally got it, and it makes me really happy. This is the Hordak I wanted. It's going to match the Despara that I'm going to be getting, hopefully soon. Which she finally got a way to get Despara. And there's a Shadow Weaver coming out, this Filmation version from Super 7 that I'm also getting, planning to get, I should say. So I really am happy with this Hordak. He's going to fit in perfectly to my display. Plus I have a bunch of members of the Evil Horde, like Modulok, Scorpia, Power Ranger Brain. And then I got Horde Troopers as well. So this is absolutely like the Hordak I wanted. And that's kind of been the whole thing with my Masters display and collection, is that these are the characters I want, And sometimes it was characters I got because of subscription stuff, and I was like, oh, I actually like this. But there's other ones where I'm just like, no, these figures aren't on display because, you know, I don't want them. So this is the Hordak I wanted. This is the one I wanted on my display, and I was going to settle for another one, but I'm really glad I found this guy. So really, really happy with Hordak. So he's absolutely the highlight of the week. I think it's probably my pickup of the week, simply because I have been trying to get one of those for years. Let's not hide him too far behind Tron. Last things least, not last things least, this is a great figure, but we're going to talk about DC Multiverse Bizarro. This is a Walgreens exclusive that just started hitting in the last couple weeks or so. Went to my Walgreens today. Looking for Marvel Legends Mystique as well. Did not find her, but I did find good old Bizarro. Bizarro here is pretty awesome. This is a classic John Byrne, which is ironic considering the other comic I have there. John Byrne inspired Bizarro. He's got a cloth cape with the backwards S on it. He's got the backward S on the chest. He is the Superman, Rebirth Superman body, just painted slightly lighter colors with the reverse symbol with a new head that looks absolutely fantastic. He does have a C-clip cape, which is slightly annoying, but because it's going for that classic style, I'm okay with it. And he just looks really cool. The thing with this figure is that in the packaging itself, he's positioned backwards. So the cape was facing outward, and that is absolutely one of my favorite details. Thank you, Mattel, for this. This is the figure that was announced at San Diego Comic-Con 2017, and it's finally owning it, and I'm really happy. The cool part too is it's not just Bizarro you get. You actually get like a slew of accessories. So first up we have the two palm open hands for flying. Just typical flying hands without, well, I mean, he's got kind of the neck joint for it, but he doesn't have enough neck for flying. You also get the Bizarro #1 medal that he made for himself out of stone. Oh, that one time. That goes around his neck pretty good. He can, you know, tighten it around the C-clip for the cape as well. But I always like that. That's always a cool inclusion. And then the last parts are amazing, and why the cape, I think, is said to be removable. I know on the package they show you putting the vest over the cape, but I kind of like to take the cape off. So we take Bizarro here, and we're going to just put this vest over him, which is, I think, is this vest piece. Okay, it's not exactly like the Lobo vest, but it goes on the same. So we get the vest here, and then we get his necktie, which just squeezes over his head. You don't need to take the head off, which is nice. And his glasses, so he can be the wonderful reporter, Kent Clark. This is the coolest feature of this Bizarro. I think it's the reason why everyone was more clamoring for him. I think, you know, classic Bizarro is not too exciting on his own because he's just a Superman head swap with some different colors. But you throw in all this, it makes this figure totally worth it. So, you know, Mattel's losing the DC collector's figure license soon, which is partially sad, partially yay, someone else gets to try crack at it. But applaud the Mattel design team, because they've really been doing some great stuff here at the end. And this is just wonderful. This is the kind of action figure that you only get every once in a while. Something that's really goofy, something that's really self-referential, and something you just love dearly. And this is something I love. This is probably how I'm going to display them. I'll swap in between, but this is a fantastic figure, and this was the highlight of my day, I think, because I went to Walgreens and I was like, all right, I'm going to go try to find Mystique and Bizarro, and I'll probably find neither because, you know, Walgreens are pretty hit or miss in my area. And then boom, walk into first store, there's Bizarro. Walked into 2 other stores, didn't find Bizarro at any of them, didn't find Mystique either, but not anything I'm going to complain about too much because I got a lot of cool stuff this week. Some cool books, some cool figures based on a video game I haven't played yet, really awesome Transformer, a Masters of the Universe Holy Grail, and a Papa Destro that's really shiny. So that does it for this week on Soundout's Pickups. Be sure to stay tuned next Sunday for my pickups of the week, which will be the last one. Well, actually, this is the last one that'll be airing in February. Next time will be in March. And it'll be mostly February stuff. Nothing scheduled to come in, I believe, in this next week, but we never know what I might find. I may end up going out tomorrow and finding that Mystique, and that would be pretty cool. We'll see what else comes through, but yeah, for now, that's the Soundout pickups. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I promise Model Kit Monday is coming back soon. I've been inspired and I have ideas and they're gonna go places. Also check out Ninja Talks Gundam Live on Mondays at 9 p.m. I'm on that and I talk about Gundam stuff every week. This week we're talking about narrative because I went to go see it and nobody else did. So it's gonna be a very interesting discussion. Also check out other past videos and other videos that you have missed. Check out my channel because there's something there for everybody. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.